Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the Sunday Night Football Showdown set between the Chicago Bears and the LA Rams. But before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you're unable to watch these YouTube videos, I also upload an Apple Podcast. Link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on Patreon.com. Also, link down below. Now is a great time to sign up. Again, I'm offering an NFL package, going over all the Showdown sites, every single Showdown site. So Thursday, Sunday, Monday night, going over the main slate as well. Doing roster construction videos, doing player pools, GBP, cash plays, core plays, and then private live stream before each and every slate. So again, more information down below on that. And I do want to thank today's sponsor, Prize Picks. So again, guys, if this is your first time watching my videos, you're not familiar with Prize Picks. Well, first I got to say, take advantage of this. So there is basically a free W on Prize Picks that's going to be live for another 24 hours. The Patrick Mahomes 0.5 passing yards. So obviously go ahead, take the over on that. But yeah, there's two different ways you can play. So the first way is you can take over under on like passing yards, receiving yards, receptions, all this good stuff. Or you can just go over to fantasy points, right? Or fantasy score. If you want to take over under on fantasy points, ton of different players posted. But yeah, the Mahomes, obviously take advantage of that one. And if you guys want to sign up, you can use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. So you deposit using my code, $100, you get a free $100 to play with. Again, take advantage of that Mahomes prop. And finally, I want to thank you guys for all your support on the week one videos, the Thursday night showdown videos, and thanks to everyone coming to check out the live stream Thursday night as well. If you guys do enjoy this content, if you could hit that like button, try to aim for 100 likes on this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, closing into the 10K subscriber mark, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you don't go live. I will be live a ton next couple days. I'll be live for Sunday morning for the main slate. I'll be live Sunday for the showdown slate, Sunday night, and I'll be live Monday for the Monday Night Football showdown slate as well. So again, you're gonna see my face a lot, videos up for each slate as well. All right, guys, so let's jump into this video. Before we talk about players and their prices, what we can do is we can look back mine up here from Thursday's Showdown slate. So Thursday's Showdown slate went really well for me. Now, I talked about it in the Patreon live stream. I was playing light. I didn't want to go crazy. This is in the Million Maker, one in some smaller tournaments too. But yeah, Antonio Brown and the captain, that's what I was kind of hammering home on Patreon was I thought Antonio Brown was very underpriced. And going over, again, the roster construction video, I really wanted to play him in the captain spot. And kind of focus my player pool mainly on the quarterbacks and wide receivers. So, yeah, Antonio Brown, the captain spot was massive. Used both quarterbacks. Dak, only 62% owned. That was too low. Godwin, Lamb, who both had really good games. And then Giovanni Bernard was just fine. He was a salary relief play. The two really cheap guys that people went to were Gio or OJ. And I guess one thing to tilt about here is Bruce Arians. I warned you guys. I was like, hey, Bruce Arians is like the Greg Popovich NBA coach. You can never trust him. Like OJ Howard, 6 snaps. Really? 6 snaps. Again, Bruce Arians loves trolling us. But going over the winning lineup, this is in the deep threat. So it did have Antonio Brown, the captain, with Dak, Godwin, Cooper, Lamb, and Gronkowski. So, right, somewhat close, right? I was 2 players off. I had Antonio Brown, the captain. He had Amari Cooper and Gronk, and I had Gio and Gio and Brady. So he only used one quarterback. Which, again, it's obviously a little riskier playing only one quarterback, but yeah, worked out for him. Won $100,000, and yeah, that was basically one more thing I wanted to bring up because I thought this was very funny was this phrase from NBC Sports. So again, with Ronald Jones, you played him. I mean, the fumbling, that's Bruce Arians is the woe. I can't stress that enough. I really, really do not like Bruce Arians. But yeah, Ronald Jones, I mean, whenever someone fumbles, they always just bench him. He always benched him for the rest of the game. So I knew once Ronald Jones fumbled, they were going to bench him for the rest of the game. But then Fournette drops a pass, yet he plays the rest of the game. Like, he just loves Fournette for some reason. The quote was what killed me. Ronald Jones mothballed after second quarter fumble. That's no way that's a word. I refuse to believe that is a word. All right. That's enough for the look back, guys. Let's talk about this showdown side. Let's go over the Vegas totals here. So Bears and Rams, again, 47 over under. The Rams are currently 8-point favorites. So we'll start off the Chicago Bears side. And we'll start with Allen Robinson at 10.2K. So once again, he's going to be their clear number one wide receiver. The matchup against the Rams, not great, right? We know the Rams are one of the top defenses in both, passing and rushing defense. So it's not a great matchup for Allen Robinson. Plus, you got to take into account that he's got Andy Dalton throwing him the ball. We know Andy Dalton is just subpar quarterback. So Robinson, the target share is going to be there. It's just a matter of can Andy Dalton get in the ball. I think he's definitely a solid spend up. The Bears should be playing from behind, and he's a guy that's probably going to get close to double-digit targets. So the positives are, again, he's going to get a lot of targets, should be playing from behind. Negatives are bad matchup, plus he's got Andy Dalton throwing him the ball. Now, Andy Dalton at 9.8, I'm just kind of okay with it. No real rushing upside, terrible matchup. Offensive line, not going to be great for the Bears. So, obviously, he's playable. He's a quarterback. Quarterbacks have a pretty high floor on the showdown slates, but I guess I'm interested to see what Dalton's ownership is going to be. I think it's definitely going to be sub 50%, but, how low is it going to be? If I think it's going to be, super, super low, then it obviously makes a little bit more sense to go to him in tournaments, but right now, Andy Dalton's kind of just a subpar play for me. Now, David Montgomery is at 8.4K. So my question mark here is he was just the clear, just bell cow back once Tariq Cohen went down last year. But they're a little bit healthier now at running back, right? They signed Damian Williams, and Damian Williams is a pretty solid back, right? You saw a couple years ago what he did for the Chiefs. Good receiving back. So, my question is it just going to be Montgomery as the bell cow back again, playing 90% of snaps? Or are we kind of going to get it a couple years ago, whereas Montgomery, the early down back, and then a lot of Damian Williams in the third down situations? I would guess it's going to be that Montgomery is going to be the early down back, and you're going to get Damian Williams for the third down kind of role, kind of like the Giovanni Bernard role that we saw on Thursday. Now, if that is the case, then it's a little bit hard for me to prioritize Montgomery, because then I don't think he'll be used as much in the passing game, obviously, if he's not out there on third downs. I do think he's, again, going to be the guy getting all the early down touches, but this is the game they should be playing from behind. So Montgomery is a riskier play. Now, crazier things have happened. You never know. The Bears could get out to an early lead, and then they could really work Montgomery. Definitely possible. But, I don't think he looks... If this was last year, at the end of the year, I would really like David Montgomery because, again, he was literally the only back playing for them. He just played the entire game. But I do think Damian Williams eats into his workload a little bit. I think Williams will be out there more on the passing downs. All right, going down a little bit more. So Darnell Mooney is the number 2 wide receiver. He had a nice year last year. He's a guy that does have some upside. They have him listed as questionable. I fully expect him to go dealing with a little bit of a back injury. I'm not super worried about it. 5.6K is a fair price. So, the Bears, they don't like running 3 wide receivers a ton. They're going to run more 2 tight end sets we'll get to. I expect Mooney and Allen Robinson to be out there a majority of the game. And you got Mooney coming in $5,000 cheaper than Allen Robinson. So, sure, he probably doesn't have as much upside, but the price discount is pretty big. So, kind of like Mooney at that price of 5.6, and you have the 2 tight ends in Cole Kmet and Jimmy Graham. So you have Kmet at 5.2, Jimmy Graham at 4.6K. Let's just take a look at last year at the end of the year, kind of what the snaps were looking like for these 2 tight ends. So you had Cole Kmet playing basically the entire game. You can go back, look at the last couple games. Those come out like 90 to 100%. Jimmy Graham hovering in that like 40-ish to 50% of the snaps range. So Komet, I think if I had to pick, obviously he's the younger tight end. I think he looks better, with them priced about the same, 5.2 for Komet, again, 4.6 for Jimmy Graham. I do give the edge to Cole Komet, going to be out there the entire time. Just more opportunities, right? Jimmy Graham, washed at this point in his career, but still a good, receiving tight end. 4.6 makes him in play. He's still a guy that can go to in the red zone, but I think a lean to Komet for me over Jimmy Graham. Going down a little bit more, so we have the Bears defense at 4.4. I don't love it. I know the Bears defense are solid defense, but this Rams offense, even though they lost Cam Akers, they're still, going to want to push the pace and spread it out. And it's still a relatively high over under 47. I mean, not super high, but not super low. If I was going to play defense, I think I would go on the opposite side. So a little bit hard for me to get to the Bears at 4.4. And we have Marquise Goodwin at 4.2K. So he is listed as their number 3 wide receiver. Now, how much work is he going to get? I'm not sure. He is a speedster, so I think he's worth a look in GPPs. Again, if you look at this, take a look at the Bears depth chart. So he's number 3, and then they've newly signed Bashard Perriman, number 4. Yeah, I think Goodwin's fine. Again, how much work does he get? Not sure. If I had to guess, I would say maybe somewhere like 30 to 50% of the snaps, which, again, makes him viable. He is a guy that still, even though he's getting up there in age, still has speed. So a little bit of interest there, but obviously a riskier play. And then, Cairo Santos, fine, right? Kickers always in play. They're safer options in the Showdown slate. I mentioned Damian Williams, so if you think David Montgomery is just going to be the bell cow again and Damian Williams is like not going to see the field and obviously you don't want to look to him, but he's at a price point at 2.2 where I'm definitely considering it, right? He doesn't need a ton to pay off his salary, and if he's out there on a lot of the third downs, then there's a decent chance he can because, again, DraftKings is full point PPR. Again, you have Perriman, the number 4 wide receiver. He might play a couple snaps, but I don't think enough for me to roll the dice on him. Jesse James, the number 3 tight end. I mean, might play a little bit. And these are like large field dart throws. I don't think I want to do it, though. And then, that's really it for the Bears. So let's move on to the Rams. Rams are a team I like a lot better in the Showdown slate, taking price consideration, too. So let's start with Matthew Stafford, 11.6. The Rams are going to want to air it out. Again, no more Cam Akers, so they're going to rely a little bit more on Matthew Stafford's arm. I think he is one of the safest plays in the board. I like Stafford a good amount. And then both main wide receivers in Woods and Kupp, I think, are very safe options with upside. Right, these are guys who are going to be out there basically the entire game and probably get close to double-digit targets each. So really, really do like Kupp. Really, really do like Woods. Don't have a super strong take in which one I prefer, right? They're pretty similar upside, going to get similar targets. Like them both a good amount at 9K and 8.8K respectively. The tricky part here for the Rams, kind of the unknown, is what are they going to do with their running back? So, again, no more Cam Akers out for the year. They have Darrell Henderson right now listed as number 1. They have Sony Michel, newly signed, number 2. And then Jake Funk, rookie, number 3 running back. So is Henderson just going to be their workhorse back? I don't think so. I think it's going to be kind of a mix of him and Sony Michel. Now, the downside of Sony Michel is he's not the best pass-catching back. But Henderson isn't really either. You have Henderson at 7.6, Sony Michel at 4.8. Maybe taking pricing consideration, a lean to Sony Michel. But again, if you're one that thinks Henderson is just going to get a majority of the carries, then obviously you would rather go there. I just think it's going to be somewhat of a split with him and Sony Michel, and maybe Jake Funk gets a little bit of work in there too. So tight ends, this is what I want to talk about tight ends really quick. So last year the Rams liked running 2 tight ends a lot. Like this was week 18, last week of the season. 86% of the snaps for Tyler Higbee, 64% for Gerald Everett. So they really liked playing 2 tight end sets. Now, Higbee at 7K, a little bit hard for me to prioritize. he's their number one tight end, but he's close in price to like the main wide receivers where, I think he's more of a contrarian play. Now, what that brings up for me is the backup tight end or the number 2 tight end. Right now, that's Johnny Mundt. So let's just take a look at this. I told you, or we just went over how the Rams really like running 2 tight end sets. Well, there's one game last year where Tyler Higbee missed and Johnny Mundt filled in. Mundt played 64% of snaps, Everett 76%. So going and looking at that game, he had 3 catches and 3 targets for 48 yards. So he's a guy that can catch the ball. He's the flat min $200. I think he's definitely in play as a punt, right? Now, how much does he play? A little more in question. They do have a couple other tight ends in the roster. Bryson Hopkins. Here, let's go to the depth chart. So they have 4 tight ends. Bryson Hopkins and Jacob Harris, 2 guys I used actually in preseason DFS. But, the Rams like running 2 tight ends. So I think Johnny Mundt's the least viable. Now, the one thing I will say here is they have 4, pretty solid wide receivers. So maybe the Rams use a little more 4 wide receiver sets instead of 2 tight end sets. But yeah, Johnny Mundt I think is a viable punt play. But going back up to the rest of the Rams here, so we just went over Higbee. The Rams D at 6'4", little pricey for a defense. I do like the spot here against Andy Dalton and this really bad offensive line. But 6.4K, going to be a little bit difficult for me to prioritize them. Now, I do think the Rams defense is definitely viable, and I would rather play the Rams defense than the Bears defense, but I just don't love the price point. And then, we went over Sony Michel with him and Henderson. If you think it's going to be a pretty even split, then I would just rather go, take the discount with a guy like Sony Michel. Matt Gay and both kickers, definitely viable. If I had to pick between the kickers, I'd probably lean the Rams kicker. I just think they score more opportunities. So, I think I would rather go to Matt Gay, but not a super strong take. Now, where this gets interesting for value is the number 3 and number 4 wide receivers here for the Rams. So, take a look at the depth chart. Again, let's go back to the depth chart. Van Jefferson's number 3 wide receiver. Deshaun Jackson, number 4. Now, if you just look at a little blurb for Deshaun Jackson, is it under Van Jefferson's? Maybe it was under Van Jefferson's. But they said Deshaun Jackson's going to have a big role for this team. Let's see. Where did I see it? I could have sworn it was under Deshaun Jackson. But, so Van Jefferson right now is the number 3 wide receiver. He's $800. Deshaun Jackson's number 4 wide receiver. He's $1,400. I think they're going to kind of mix both wide receivers in. And if we take a look at snap counts last year, the Rams liked running 3 wide receiver sets a lot, right? Take a look at this, week 15. Again, Woods, Kupp, they're going to play majority of the game. But Josh Reynolds was their number 3 receiver. 76% of snaps. Now, there were some other games where he was like 60-ish, 50%, but I expect Van Jefferson and Deshaun Jackson to get a decent amount of work this game. So I think both guys firmly in play. Deshaun Jackson, even though he's going up there in age, still a guy that can break a long one. And then, Van Jefferson, only $800. I think both guys make for pretty solid value plays. And then the rest of the Rams, I don't really think there's anything else besides just like really large field tournament dart throws. Like Tutu Atwell had a good preseason, but he's too far down the depth chart for me to get to him. I think that's really it, guys. So that is going to do it for the video today. If you have been enjoying the content so far, would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you don't want to go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream again for the Sunday main slate as well as the Sunday night football show on slate. So make sure to check out both guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I will see you all Sunday in the live streams.